The Rangers AGM has come and gone. Now, just to dive straight into this, there's no beating around the bush, right? There's a lot to get through. I've already talked about the whole transfer situation over on my channel, but to sum it up in about 10 seconds, 800,000 for Cantwell, Wright, Goldson, and Lammers. There you go. What's everyone's thoughts on that? Leave them down below. I think that's absolutely disgraceful. I was led to believe we got a couple of mil for Lammers, man, about 2 million or something. Absolutely disgraceful. Oh, but the wage bill's lowered by 6 million. Aye, brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. But let's dive into it. There's 6 Rangers AGM takeaways. John Gilligan looks like he knows a thing or two about takeaways, but let's have our own takeaways. And boardroom shake up. So let's dive straight into this, everybody. That's what Big Gilligan said. We will, referring to welcoming CEO, new CEO Patrick Stewart, he said, every decision made by the board is made in the best interest of the club. You can question use of cash and results. I have to admit sometimes it's not been good enough. But we're now going to create a board that's Scottish based that will have much more advice and help from the people in the west of Scotland. End of quote. Well, you know, I can't really disagree with that. I think having people that are Scottish based and from the west of Scotland understand Rangers, that makes a lot of sense rather than getting people that don't understand what Rangers is about. I can't really discredit that, but the whole I have to admit sometimes it's not been good. Sometimes it's not been good enough, mate. We're behind Aberdeen still. I know we're going to overtake Aberdeen. I'm not worried about that. That that ship is sailed. All right, that ship is absolutely sailed. We're catching them. All right, there's high seas out there, and we're going to jump in. Now, yeah, I've already mentioned 800,000. That's another takeaway. So forget about your takeaway. Basically, to sum that up, he said, player trading hasn't been working for a number of years. That is an understatement and a half. Absolutely. Now, big man, let's dive into the next quote. Former Rangers chairman Alistair Johnston. I come from an American sports business where it's all about entertainment. You don't have to win. I know there is interest. I was in Nice and had lunch with several friends and directors there, and the owner there is Jim Radcliffe. We're looking at whether club formations can be an option for us. We're looking for Patrick Stewart to provide advice on that. I want the new chairman and the new CEO to look at the big issues. Why do we get such poor media money? Why do clubs finishing at the bottom of the English Premier League get 28 more times than we do? The obvious conclusion is to jump is Manchester United co-owner Radcliffe's Enos, who wholly owns FC Lausanne Sport in the Swiss Super League and boasts a majority interest in these. Could Gers become part of a stable? End of quote. Whatever makes Rangers more money has got to be the way we've got to look at this. And Scottish football as a whole, like the money in it is just it's pathetic. So when Big Bloomy Boy, whatever he's called, puts money into Hearts and a 10 million investment in order to get them up the table, I welcome that. I hope every team in the pyramid gets some form of investment, and can hopefully create player trading models that can get this league down from where it's at. Because you know what, this league's great. I love the Scottish League. I don't want it to become commercialised, but it can still be a hell of a lot better than what it is right now. And I think we all know that. Anyway, there's a lot of talk about the steel. The steel. It says it runs to 6 figures and will be in next year's account, said John Gilligan, referring to the steel. It was an inevitability, but we had no choice on the matter. It's one of those ones that is a bit the whole thing about the steel. If Rangers were top of the league, right, and not third, that wouldn't have been a big deal. But it's the fact that it was like one more mess on top of another mess. You know what I mean? And that's essentially where it comes from. He goes on to say, from my perspective, the steel was ordered when we were told to order it by our professional advisors. Look, it was an ambitious project, overly ambitious. Wait, hold on. It was ordered when we were told, ordered by our professional advisors. What have we got? Steel advisors now? What? Professional advisors and went to order fucking steel? That's just fucking ridiculous, man. I don't even what the fuck does that even mean? Then he was asked about Big John, Big John, Big Phil. He says, "We have history of making decisions under duress mid-season. We wanted the manager to have comfort that he had time to bring in younger players. Time will tell if it's the right decision, but we stand by it." Right. End of quote. Um, cards on the table here, right? Bring in younger players. See, that's what all the media. But then he used it as an excuse for why we're not beating Celtic. It's like you can't build the club around wanting younger players, then use it as an excuse to why you can't win games of football. I don't know. I digress, man. I feel like these answers just hypocrite. I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. Honestly. Um. Anyway, what did he end it with? This is what he ended the Q&A section with. He says, "I understand the mood. If I was sitting where you were, I'd be itching to ask a question. You will get total respect from the stage. All I ask for you is to show the same respect to us. All I can say is thank you to supporters. It's Rangers then, Rangers now, Rangers forever." End of quote. Right. As I said in my video earlier, that wee line at the end is simply staunch points. You know what I mean? That is, oh, I've got to get this wee line in, man. They'll love that. That's all it is. And, there's people who just, no matter what, they're going to, blindly follow the club and not call anything out, as I said earlier. But it's like, this needs called out. You know what I mean? Like, not him saying this, but everything else. It's like, you see those board members and Clement on this, even though Clement doesn't really get Rangers, I don't think he does, right? But see the board members and people who grew up supporting Rangers, they probably think by saying this as they close an argument about it was Rangers then, it's Rangers now, it's Rangers forever, right? That line probably thinks they've won everyone back on side. That's the God's honest truth of it. You know what I mean? That's what they probably think. But in terms of fans' questions, it is kind of hard to see exactly the questions here. Now, someone asked that, let's see, some decisions by the board have hurt the club. Decisions have to be better. The new board structure have to meet demands. Only way we can move forward. Gilligan says, absolutely. Speaking as a season ticket holder and now chairman, that's what we're doing. Decision-making process will be based more on the west of Scotland. But see, it's like, see that, right? I get that sort of talk, from Gilligan, oh, I'm a season ticket holder and that. But that's why I don't think I could ever be in a role in the club, because no matter how much of a supporter you are or how free, open-minded you are, right? See, once you're in a company or a club or like a business like this, man, of a high stature, you have to hold your own personal opinions in. It's fucking, you can't be your own man. You know what I mean? I think it's embarrassing. And that isn't a dig at John Gilligan. That's just the world we fucking live in. Because you know what? I don't know the guy personally, but I guarantee you he'd love to sit up on that stage and speak the 100% truth and be like, you know what, yeah, I'm the chairman, it's been a fucking disgrace, it eats alive at me every day that we're so far behind Celtic and it looks like it's not changing, and I can only, I can only get down on my knees and beg for forgiveness, because there's nothing I want more than to win league titles and cups at this football club, and the last however many years has been unacceptable. We're going to try our best, but admittedly, in these AGMs and press conferences, for numerous managers and numerous chair people and board members, we've spoke utter fucking shite. So here's the truth. We can only wish for that, but that's not going to happen at the end of the day. But I would love that, but that's the world we live in. Anyway, that's the Rangers AGM. What did we make it?